Not every dictator dies the same way. Part 2. NICOLAE Ceausescu died in 1989. NICOLAE Ceausescu's fall happened fast, very fast. For years, he ruled Romania with censorship, secret police, and fear. But in December 1989, the fear cracked. Protests exploded. The army opened fire, and instead of stopping the revolution, it made everything worse. On December 21st, Ceausescu tried to give a mass speech. At first, it looked normal. Another staged rally, another loyal crowd. But then, people started booing, shouting. The dictator froze. He raised his hand for silence, but the crowd no longer listened. The next day, he and his wife Elena fled by helicopter. But the army had switched sides. They were forced to land, captured, and taken to a military base. On Christmas Day, December 25th, 1989, they were put on trial. It lasted about an hour. The verdict was already clear: guilty, death. Minutes later, NICOLAE and Elena were taken outside. A firing squad opened fire. They were riddled with bullets, and Romanian television showed the proof. A dictator went from ruling a country to being executed in 3 days. Pol Pot died in 1998. Pol Pot's ending feels unfair, because after everything, he died quietly. This was the man behind the Khmer Rouge, a regime where around 1.5 to 2 million people died through execution, starvation, disease, and forced labor. But after his regime collapsed, Pol Pot fled into the jungle. For years, he lived near the Thai border, a fugitive, old, protected by what remained of his movement. But by the late 1990s, even his own side was turning against him. In 1997, he was put on trial by Khmer Rouge leaders. Not an international court, not a real moment of justice. They sentenced him to life imprisonment, but he served it under house arrest. Then, in 1998, he gave an interview. He claimed his conscience was clear. He said he acted for his country. Then, on April 15th, 1998, Pol Pot died in his sleep. Officially, it was called a heart attack. Some suspected suicide. But either way, there was no real trial, no answers, no justice. His body was shown to journalists to prove he was dead, then cremated on a pile of tires and trash. The man connected to one of the worst mass deaths of the 20th century escaped judgment by dying in a jungle hut. So, not every ending feels like justice. Augusto Pinochet died in 2006. Augusto Pinochet ruled Chile for 17 years. Thousands were tortured, killed, or disappeared. But unlike many dictators, Pinochet did not die in a bunker, or at a wall, or in exile. He died old, in a hospital, surrounded by family. By 2006, Pinochet was 91. He had suffered heart attacks and strokes. On December 3rd, he had another major heart attack. Doctors tried to save him, but his condition kept getting worse. On December 10th, 2006, Pinochet died. The date was International Human Rights Day. That detail alone made his death feel bitter to many. In Santiago, the reaction split the country. Some celebrated in the streets, others mourned him. Because even after death, Chile was still divided by what he had done, and for victims. The hardest part was this: Pinochet never served a prison sentence for the crimes of his regime. He fought prosecution until the end, and died before full justice could reach him. Saddam Hussein died in 2006. Only 20 days after Pinochet, another dictator died: Saddam Hussein. After the US-led invasion of Iraq in 2003, Saddam disappeared. The government collapsed. His statue fell in Baghdad. and the former president became a fugitive. The U.S. military put a bounty on him, $25 million. Then, in December 2003, soldiers found a rope near a small hut. They pulled it and discovered a trapdoor. Below it was a hidden underground hole, the spider hole. Saddam emerged from the ground, disheveled, alive, captured. The man who once ruled Iraq through fear was found hiding underground. In 2006, he was convicted of crimes against humanity. He asked to be executed by firing squad. That request was denied. On December 30th, 2006, Saddam was hanged, but the execution did not stay private. Someone recorded it on a phone. The footage leaked online, and his final moments became global news. One of the most powerful men in Iraq was found in a hole and ended on a phone video. Muammar Gaddafi died in 2011. Muammar Gaddafi ruled Libya for 42 years. Then, in 2011, his world collapsed. During Libya's civil war, rebels closed in. Gaddafi fled Tripoli, then Sirte. Then his convoy was attacked during NATO-backed operations. He survived the attack and hid in a drainage pipe. A drainage pipe. After 42 years in power, that was where rebels found him, dragged into the open, bloody, confused, surrounded by fighters with phones recording everything. Videos spread across the world. Gaddafi was heard asking what he had done wrong. The scene was chaos, shouting, dragging, fighting, then gunfire. Exactly how he died is still disputed. But by the end of October 20th, 2011, Gaddafi was dead. His body was displayed in Misrata, inside a commercial freezer. People lined up to see him. Then he was buried in an unmarked desert grave. A ruler who built statues of power ended with no marked grave. Kim Jong-il died in 2011. Kim Jong-il's death was different. No execution, no trial. He died while still in power. And that might be the most disturbing part. For years, North Korea treated him like something beyond human. State propaganda built a myth around him. But behind the image, his health was failing. He had reportedly suffered strokes, and intelligence agencies were watching closely. Kim Jong-il died on December 17, 2011. But North Korean state media only announced it 2 days later. They said he died of a suspected heart attack while traveling by train. He was 69. But the official story came with impossible-sounding details. State media even claimed the sky glowed red over Mount Pektu. Nature itself was made part of the propaganda. Then came the public mourning. People cried in the streets. Some collapsed in grief. But in a country like North Korea, you can never fully know what is real grief and what is survival. Kim Jong-il's body was embalmed, placed inside the Kumsusun Palace of the Sun, beside his father, and power passed to his son, Kim Jong-un. Unlike many dictators on this list, Kim Jong-il never faced collapse. He died naturally, still protected by the system, and the system continued. In the end, almost none of them died the way they imagined. But the strangest part isn't how these dictators died. It's what survived after them. The fear, the propaganda, the damage left behind. Because dictators don't just leave bodies behind. They leave entire nations trying to recover from what they created. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for similar ones next.